If you're over 60 and waking up with stiff knees, aching fingers, or swollen joints that make even simple tasks like walking or opening a jar feel harder than they used to, you are not alone. Joint pain is one of the most common complaints among older adults. But here's something many people don't realize. It's not always aging that's to blame. Sometimes, it's what's on your plate. That's right. Certain everyday food may be silently increasing inflammation in your body, making your joint pain worse without you even knowing it. In today's video, we'll walk through 5 common foods that can trigger joint pain after 60, and most importantly, what to eat instead to keep your joints happier, healthier, and more mobile. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's dig into what your joints are really trying to tell you. First, let's talk briefly about why certain foods cause joint pain. The main issue isn't the joint itself, it's inflammation. Inflammation is your body's natural defense against injury or infection. But when it becomes chronic, due to stress, lifestyle, or yes, certain foods, it can start to attack healthy tissues, including your joints. And if you already have arthritis, or even just age-related wear and tear, those joints become extra sensitive to what's going on inside your body. Think of inflammation like a low fire burning inside your body. Some foods add fuel to that fire. Others help put it out. Today, we're focused on the foods adding fuel, often without you realizing it. Refined sugar. That includes candy, cookies, pastries, and even your favorite sweet coffee creamer. Sugar is one of the biggest hidden drivers of inflammation. When you eat a lot of it, your blood sugar spikes, and your body releases chemicals called cytokines, which are inflammatory messengers. Over time, these cytokines can irritate the lining around your joints, making them stiffer, more swollen, and more painful. In fact, a 2017 study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who regularly consumed sugary sodas had a significantly higher risk of developing rheumatoid arthritis. And here's something else. Sugary foods don't just harm your joints. They can also lead to weight gain, which puts even more pressure on already stressed knees, hips, and ankles. What to eat instead? Try naturally sweet options like berries, dates in moderation, or even a small piece of dark chocolate. And if you need to sweeten something, try cinnamon or raw honey in tiny amounts. Both have anti-inflammatory properties when used sparingly. Processed meats. That include sausages, bacon, ham, deli slices, and even canned meat products like Spam. These are high in advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, compounds formed when meat is cooked at high temperatures or heavily preserved. AGEs trigger oxidative stress in the body, which inflames tissues, including the cartilage in your joints. One study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that people who consumed high levels of processed meat had more inflammatory markers in their blood and more reported joint pain, especially in the hands and knees. And for many people over 60, these foods are breakfast staples. But over time, they can quietly erode joint health. What to eat instead? Choose lean, whole sources of protein like grilled chicken, wild-caught fish, lentils, or eggs. Even better, try salmon or sardines once or twice a week. They are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are proven to reduce joint inflammation. And if you really miss the flavor of bacon or ham, look for nitrate-free, low-sodium versions occasionally, but think of them as a treat, not a habit. Now, those first 2 are pretty common culprits, but number 3 might surprise you because a lot of people think it's healthy, especially after 60. But for your joints, it could be causing more harm than good. We'll talk about that next. Vegetable oils high in omega-6 fatty acids. Now this might sound surprising because the word vegetable makes it sound healthy, but oils like corn oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, and even generic vegetable oil are very high in omega-6 fats. Here's a catch. Your body needs omega-6 fats, but it also needs omega-3s in the right balance. Most Western diets, especially after 60 when quick cooking becomes a habit, are flooded with omega-6 and very low in omega-3s. That imbalance causes inflammation to rise, and joint pain often follows. Think about how many common foods use these oils. Salad dressings, fried foods, margarine, baked goods, even some heart-healthy snack bars. Over time, they accumulate and quietly aggravate sore joints. What to eat instead? Cook with olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil in moderation. These oils are much more balanced and have anti-inflammatory benefits. Olive oil, in particular, especially extra virgin, has a compound called oleocanthal, which works similarly to ibuprofen in reducing joint discomfort. Try drizzling a little over steamed veggies or mixing into homemade dressings. Small changes like this can go a long way. Refined carbohydrates. White bread, white rice, pasta, crackers, and breakfast cereals might be easy to eat and quick to digest, but they also spike your blood sugar quickly, which stirs up inflammation. And that's not just bad for your joints. It's bad for your heart, brain, and blood vessels too. A study published in Arthritis and Rheumatism found that diets high in refined carbs were linked to increased joint pain and a faster decline in joint function, especially among older adults with osteoarthritis. What to eat instead? Switch to whole grains like steel-cut oats, quinoa, brown rice, or whole grain bread made with sprouted grains. And try not to eat carbs alone. Pair them with a healthy fat or protein to slow digestion and reduce the blood sugar spike. For example, have almond butter on whole grain toast, or a handful of walnuts with your oatmeal. And remember, portion size matters. Half a cup of cooked quinoa goes a long way. Refined carbohydrates. White bread, white rice, pasta, crackers, and breakfast cereals might be easy to eat and quick to digest, but they also spike your blood sugar quickly, which stirs up inflammation. And that's not just bad for your joints. It's bad for your heart, brain, and blood vessels too. A study published in Arthritis and Rheumatism found that diets high in refined carbs were linked to increased joint pain and a faster decline in joint function, especially among older adults with osteoarthritis. What to eat instead? Switch to whole grains like steel-cut oats, quinoa, brown rice, or whole grain bread made with sprouted grains. And try not to eat carbs alone. Pair them with a healthy fat or protein to slow digestion and reduce the blood sugar spike. For example, have almond butter on whole grain toast, or a handful of walnuts with your oatmeal. And remember, portion size matters. Half a cup of cooked quinoa goes a long way. Dairy products. Now, this one depends on your individual body. Some older adults digest dairy just fine, but others, especially after age 60, become more sensitive to casein, the main protein found in milk. For people with casein sensitivity, dairy can cause an inflammatory reaction in the body, leading to joint stiffness, swelling, or discomfort, especially in the knees, fingers, and lower back. Cheese, yogurt creamers, and even low-fat milk can be sneaky culprits if your joints ache after meals. What to do instead? Try switching to plant-based alternatives like unsweetened almond milk, coconut yogurt, or cashew cheese for a week and see if you feel a difference. If you enjoy dairy and it doesn't cause problems, opt for fermented versions like kefir or plain Greek yogurt, which contain probiotics that may actually help reduce inflammation for some. And always go for low added sugar, high quality dairy if you keep it in your diet. So far, we've covered 5 common foods that could be triggering more joint pain than you realize. Sugary treats, processed meats, vegetable oils high in omega-6, refined carbs, and dairy, depending on your sensitivity. Coming up next, I'll show you some smart food swaps to ease inflammation, real-life meal example for joint-friendly eating, and how just 1 week of changes can reduce your pain and boost your mobility. Now let's talk about what you can eat to support your joints after 60. First, don't worry, this isn't about giving up everything you love. It's about making small, smart swaps that add up over time. Small Blue Diamond instead of sugary snacks. Try a bowl of fresh berries, especially blueberries and cherries. They are packed with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that fight inflammation. Small Blue Diamond instead of processed meats. Go for fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, or sardines 2 to 3 times a week. These are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which studies show can significantly reduce joint stiffness and swelling. Small Blue Diamond instead of vegetable oils. Switch to extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil for cooking. Not only are they anti-inflammatory, but they also taste fantastic. Small Blue Diamond instead of refined carbs. Choose whole grains, things like quinoa, bulgur, or even sweet potatoes, which are packed with fiber, vitamins, and joint-friendly nutrients. Small Blue Diamond, and if you're unsure about dairy, try a plant-based alternative for 7 days and keep a small journal to track how your joints feel. Sometimes the results are clearer than any lab test. Need help getting started? Here are a few joint-friendly meal ideas you can try this week. Frying pan with egg breakfast. Steel-cut oats topped with chia seeds, blueberries, and a drizzle of honey. Add a handful of walnuts for crunch and healthy fats. Salad lunch. Grilled salmon salad with mixed greens, olive oil vinaigrette, cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, and a slice of whole grain toast on the side. Pot of food dinner. A hearty stew with sweet potatoes, carrots, beans, turmeric, garlic, and a little lean chicken oil. If you're over 60 and dealing with joint pain, it's easy to feel frustrated or helpless. But remember this, your body is always trying to heal. Every bite you take is either fighting inflammation or feeding it. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. Just start with one small change. Swap the morning muffin for oatmeal. Try fish instead of deli meat for lunch. Choose olive oil over margarine. And most importantly, listen to your body. It's wiser than you think. If you found this video helpful, please hit that subscribe button and share it with a friend who might be silently struggling with joint pain. And in the comments below, tell me, right pointing backhand index, what's one food you're going to swap this week? I read every comment, and I'd love to cheer you on. Until next time, take care of your joints, and they'll take care of you. Outro music fades in softly. Clapperboard, end screen. Watch next. 7 signs of inflammation you shouldn't ignore. Subscribe for more wellness tips after 60.